So I'm just going to read a response Adam Silver had when it came to being questioned about how most NBA fans can't afford the new NBA streaming services and what he thought about affordability among NBA fans when it comes to viewing NBA games. Adam Silver's response, I'm just going to read out part of it. So here it goes. I think about it a lot. I will say, I saw the story your publication ran. You took all the different streaming services and added them up and what those costs would be. I look at it a little bit differently because most people can only consume so many games. By the way, one example in these new media deals, we're going from essentially 15 exposures on broadcast television to 75. So, to the extent someone wants to put little rabbit ears on their television, you can still get 75 marquee games in essence for free in the marketplace. I'd say, in addition to that, and this is an ongoing issue for the league. There's a huge amount of our content that people essentially consume for free. This is very much a highlights based sport. So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it, any service, the New York Times for that matter, to the extent that your content is not behind a paid firewall, there's an enormous amount of content out there. YouTube, another example that is advertising based that consumers can consume. So, what did I say about this? Well, this is Adam Silver, like always, disrespecting NBA fans for personal greed reasons. Obviously, his job is to make as much money as possible for the NBA when it comes to endorsements, sponsorships, and other deals, especially the TV deals. So that's really what that shows to me, that he doesn't give a shit that NBA fans won't be able to afford these streaming services because we look at the current situation with the economy and expenses going up. A lot of people will have to do some downsizing, and it's safe to say most people are not going to be able to afford all the streaming services to watch the NBA games. Some people will have cable or some other streaming services, whether it's Hulu, YouTube TV, and they get some of the NBA games. You know, if they have ESPN in their package or NBC, but you're still not going to get all of it because you have to buy Amazon Prime separately. You have to buy Peacock separately. There was this one NBA YouTuber, I forget his name. He's a prolific YouTuber, and he actually did an analysis of how much it would cost him per month to afford all the streaming services that are going to televise NBA games. I think it was something insane like over like $100 he would have to pay out of pocket to get all the services to stream the games. And if you do the math on that, $100 per month in a year, it adds up. That's like $1,200 to watch all the NBA games. That's fucking ridiculous. Think about it. If you have cable or YouTube TV, at least last year, you could see all the televised NBA games that the NBA had TV deals with, TNT, ESPN, ABC. You could see all that in just one fucking payment. So to me, this is BS that people are going to be forced to either buy all these extra annoying streaming services such as Peacock, which I'm not a fan of. That's fucking bullshit that they're owned by NBC, but they're not with NBC. So you have to buy it separately if the game is on Peacock. That's just insane. But that's how it's set up. Going back to what I felt about this, that it's ultimately unfair for the fans because they're not going to be able to see every possible NBA TV game that's available on these televised networks and streaming services. And yes, I can say, for example, that I didn't watch all the NBA games that were on TNT, ESPN, or ABC last year, but it was convenient for me as a Spurs fan to know that I could see every possibly nationalized televised Spurs game. So on any of these channels, that whenever the Spurs are on any of these TV networks that they had deals with nationally, I could see the game. I would have had to fucking buy another streaming service such as Peacock or Amazon to watch them because they're either going to be on ESPN, ABC, or TNT. It was simple. Now, when I look at the Spurs schedule, they have like, I think like 20 some games, but based on what I have, which is only YouTube TV, I'm only eligible to see like fucking 10 of them unless I buy Amazon Prime and Peacock. That is fucking bullshit. That's bullshit. And this is going to hurt a lot of NBA fans that won't be able to see their teams, especially if their teams are not on TV all the time. So, for example, you could be like a fan of some bottom feeding team, such as Charlotte Hornets. Granted, they're hardly ever on TV, but let's say they only have like their typical 2 to 3 nationalized, televised games, and let's say all three of them are on Peacock or Amazon Prime, but you don't have that. You have just either typical cable, YouTube TV, or something else. Okay, that gives you only ESPN and NBC. So you might be squeezed out of seeing your team play all year. You won't be able to afford it. So that's horseshit. But I think it has long-term ramifications on the younger generation of NBA fans. It's gonna make the league, I think, less popular because fans are not gonna be able to see their teams consistently, and they'll turn to other hobbies. Granted, that's already an issue with the younger generation when it comes to them not really being interested in watching a full NBA game, but I think it'll get worse over time now because of this deal, because there's not going to be enough exposure. But Silver just saying that this is like a highlight, league, and that, hey, well, if you can't afford to watch the games, you can still watch the highlights on YouTube. That's basically him spitting in the fans' face and telling them, yeah, I don't give a fuck, deal with it, and that's it. That's just the end of the story. That's what he's telling fans. He's basically mocking them by saying, like, I got mines, and yeah, I'm being nice to you. I'm allowing YouTube to show all the highlights or TikTok, and I'm not going to take it down. So there, you can get your NBA through that. You can get it through these shitty breadcrumbs I'm throwing at you. That's really what Silver is saying. And it just shows that he's all about the short term. And I think it's a flaw in this current capitalist system that everyone's about the short term, but they don't think about the long term. Right now, this won't hurt the NBA the way he set it up, but 10, 15, 20 years from now, it can. Especially if ratings are piss poor the next 10, 15 years, it could possibly hurt them. So you just don't know the long term, the ramifications he's doing by going this route. But that's all I had to say about this.